Hi, my name is Sekandar Chaudhuri. I was born in Calcutta, India, and this is my second video. And the subject matter is almost the same because it cannot be otherwise. This is the most important thing I think in the human life. That is, we all want a happy and peaceful life for each to everybody. So I have rather named this one as Fountain of Peaceful Happiness and with dash with humanly divine from Sekandar Chaudhuri. Okay. So from anything, this is an exercise or let's say a scenario building from perspective, which is the study of futures. Okay, we are certainly interested in future because the past is past and the present is here and now we are living. That is very, very important. But the future comes very fast to tomorrow, day after tomorrow, etc. Okay, so there's one thing that why are we interested in the future and why are we interested in happy and peaceful life? Are we not happy? Well, I'm 78 years, and I say that I'm 78 years young. Okay, young or old, whatever it is. I have lived. In French, they say j'ai vécu. Well, the thing is, when we really try to understand our lives on this earth, we are about 8 billion people. We see that we are not really very happy. And this has been going on for a long time. I come from the Indian region, and which is where Gautam Buddha he came in this world around 2,500 years ago, and then many others also. And they were all looking for this happy and peaceful life for all. But at that time, because the human beings they were not very developed, so it was very difficult, and they were the average longevity of human beings was around 35 years, even very recently. Now it has gone 70, 80 years, thanks to medicine, thanks to science and technology, etc. Okay, so let's not digress very much, and let's come how things are possible. And what I have found is that a happy and peaceful life for each and everybody is not only possible, it is feasible. That means we can realize it. And there is, I'll give some reference later on, and there is one very, very important person. I have been studying him or following him for the last 15 years. His name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he says that knowledge is important, know is important, but in today's world, know-how is even more important. How we can do it. Okay. So the thing is a happy and peaceful life, how we can possibly and we can realize this. For this, after all, there's a simple, it's not intellectual, but it's just a question. We want to go to past, so past, present, and future. So we will not delve very much in the past, but to somehow, because to explain, we have to explain why is this thing, why we are not happy, why with all this progress of science and technology, we are still fighting. There is so much of hunger, anger, and the hate and destruction, etc. So people are poor. So why is this? So what happened is that I tried to understand or find in history, I could not find it because it's all the same. Whether all the empires, whether it's British, American Empire, Soviet Empire, British Empire, and all that empires, Roman, even Egyptian empires, they had the same thing, the same palace cliques, and the same temporal power, and the same religious power, and there were frictions between the kings and the priests everywhere, even in France. It was only in 1905 that the state and the real church was separated. Okay, So what happened is that before history, uh, when we human beings, we are here on this earth for the last, for many million years, but they said that it's Lucy, our great great grandmother from Africa, Lake Turkana, and that happened in 3 million years. So then which went on, there was Homo erectus, Homo sapiens sapiens, etc. And Europe, you have this another thing, another species. At any rate, what we find is that the modern human beings, which means conscious human beings, they came on this earth quite recently. Recently, I mean, with this background of million years. It was around maximum 200,000 years, not before that, that people became conscious. And for everybody, every child, I remember myself, I became conscious at the age of 8, not before. And one of the greatest psychologists of this world of this time, Carl Gustav Jung, he became conscious at the age of 11, not before. So, and sometimes before, sometimes later on, okay. So this being conscious, coming conscious is very, very important. That's how we ourselves, we can walk a bit, work our lives later on. It's like if we take the life as running a plane, driving a plane, aeroplane, we have 3 modes: autopilot, pilot, and experienced co-pilot. So if we are not conscious, if we are unconscious, we are on autopilot. It's going, but we don't know, here and there, etc. Okay. So what happened is that around 10,000 years, we had this revolution, very important, which was called Neolithic revolution. In the Neolithic revolution, because one of the tools that human beings always like and want is very much a knife or axe sort of thing, to cut animal leather or cut some wood, etc. And they used to find in some flint or stones in nature, and that was disposable. Once you cut something, it becomes dull, and you have to throw it. Then they found something, a sort of lithic, means stone, which once they could cut, but they could polish that, you could utilize it again. So that was the Neolithic, polished stone. Polished means sharpening, you can sharp several times. So that was a very, very, very big leap from that one. And then they settled, they had agricultural communities, and they had this roaming around pastoral communities about taking care of animals, etc. Okay, and that time, that was around 10,000 years ago. At that time, no problem. There were groups, the human groups, they were mostly around 20 to 25 people, and then there were villages a bit larger, etc. Then the huge civilizations, or whatever it is, they came around the river valleys. One was the Nile River Valley, that's Egypt. Another was the Mesopotamia, with 2 rivers, Euphrates and Tigris, which is Iraq, present-day Iraq. And then another was in India, Indus Valley, with these 5 rivers in the Sindh and northwest of India. And there was another in China, Yangtze, and then later on joined by Huanghe. So these rivers, they had a sort of more or less regular flooding events. They used to flood, and that's dangerous, that's risky, but after the flood, it left a very nutrient, a very rich topsoil sort of thing, and with which they could grow cereals, and these cereals they could stock. And this was a great revolution, so that they were no longer that much dependent on nature. They became somewhat independent of nature and had some autonomy. And likewise, They were other the people who were goods, who were pastoral, I mean nomadic, who were taking cows, sheep, goats, bulls, other animals, and they used to roam around, and they had big this sheptel or uh, cow herds, sort of thing. Sorry. Now, what happened is that, in all the religion and all spiritual things, or even philosophers, they ask one thing: who am I, and who are we? I think this we can now answer. A human being is not just alone. It is like this, what I say in my language, I say me, us, and them. Myself, ourselves, others as well. This is human being, and not just myself, and not just a group, and not just sometimes very idealist. We say that I'm nothing, I'm just for others, etc. No, that is a folly. So me, us, and them, and that's what we are human, and also we are natural. There is nature outside, but we ourselves also natural. And the most important thing, perhaps, and the most important capacity that we have is culture. And culture not begins, but it sprouts very, very largely. Even animals have culture, but very at a low level, because they are not conscious. Sorry, excuse me. So when we human beings became conscious, they could select consciously, and then culture becomes a very, very huge affair, and it started blossoming. And that culture is that is typically us, in us. It is no longer automatic, sometimes yes, but more than automatic, and also less than the world. That means we are not dependent on something else. We have this capacity ourselves. So we have the nature and culture. Then we have started this world, this village. The village is a world system, and the roaming ground of the nomadic pastoral people. This constitutes world, but for us the first level, which we can call traditional world. So whatever, it was all right, no problem. But with these very big river civilizations, then they had to become larger and larger communities. And me and us, okay, to 2025, but others as well. And this relation, we failed. We humans, we failed. We could not do it properly. We became sometimes indifferent, sometimes peaceful, sometimes also fighting each other. Okay, even then, you fight each other, you cancel one or thing, etc. And there is no harm finally. But then some people got very clever. They saw that whenever there are silos of grain or very large number of animals, they said, why do I work? I'll just go in the night, I'll steal something. And then the rest of the days, I'll have very, very big life, very wonderful, lazy life, and with all the pleasures without working all that. So the stealing started. Now stealing, otherwise it depends. When we hunt in the nature, we steal in fact. But well, that's the way it is. Other animals also, they steal. But then the villagers, they tried, certainly they did not like this stealing. So they got caught and they go trashing, etc. And it was held in check. Then with the advent of fire and the bow and arrow, etc., and fast-moving boats, there are some who became violent, and bandits, which is a bandit. They came and steal with force, and the villagers, they did not have these weapons, etc. They were just they had only agricultural tools. They could not match with these bandits. We came in bands and with fire, etc. Give us everything, and even women they took and they went away. These are robbers. Now, around these robbers, there are always clever people. perhaps one robber, he became very clever. He said, "Look, I will, uh, I will defend you against those robbers, but you give me something, which we later on we call it racket money, which all these mafia, etc., they extract from people. That you are safe, but you give me some money, I will defend against other ones." And this name has stuck, and this we call the robber barons. It is still there in the capitalist society. You still have. So that was the thing, and since then it is this powerful, rich and powerful. They become rich. One group become rich and powerful, and the others become poor and no power, etc. And this went on, and then the kings, emperors, etc. All this, the history is known. So this is in fact the basic thing, that why we have so problems, etc., and hate, and etc. Okay, and this goes on even in the present days, etc. It has become now, we have atom bombs which people can destroy the whole world 100 times, 1,000 times. It's a folly, mad. They call mad mutually mutually assured destruction, mad. Okay. Now, so what I say is that what I found is that we can have a happy and peaceful life. So what is the mode and what we are thinking? So the future, we found that future is not just there. Future is not real. Future, sometimes it is potential, like just tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We know more or less what will happen tomorrow or after tomorrow. That we call potential. And then there are a lot of things, even more distant, which are possibilities, not realities, not potentialities. This study, perspective, was a study of future. This came from economic planning. There was planning in the 50s and 60s. There was planning started from the Soviet Union, and also in other countries. And this they had annual development plans and plans about tomorrow, very next year, etc. And also they had long-term planning. But after some times they found that it does not work, long-term planning. So they discarded it, the professors and scholars, etc. What they found, that we can make scenarios, that is possibilities, this 1 or 2 or 3 scenarios, and then this that we will see, we can share, etc. The urban planners, it's their daily bread. They are, etc., and also military, etc., whatever it is. So what my scenarios that I have found for the whole of humanity, it is that if we do not correct ourselves, the correcting movements, and it goes on like this, there is about 2 scenarios possible. One is negative, one is positive. In French, I've said in the back years, I'll say perhaps in French, the negative scenario is, we can call it Pigalle sur Tahiti. And the positive one we can call Greece of Pericles on Polynesia, which, or Pigalle, perhaps in the Western world we know there's a lot of fun, etc. It's fun, but deep down it is not healthy. Deep down it is not healthy. So we can have, in English we can say, we can have an future, a sweet sour hell. A sweet sour hell. It's a hell, but a sweet sour. And positively, we can have a mature paradise. Not the paradise of the old ones, oh, there's all milk and honey, etc. That is a sort of child's dream. But we can have a much developed and paradise, etc. Now, there is, just to talk about, we are in November 2000. 2024, 24, there are a lot of people are talking of world wars, etc. And now, for the first time in history, there are two very big blocks. One is the Western bloc, and the other, which is called BRICS. And the Western bloc is about G7. It's America, Britain, France, etc., Canada for 7, and with their NATO and their military alliance, etc., and IMF. And on the other side, you have Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, now even Iran, etc., etc., and a whole lot of good things. And they are in fact rivaling one another. Its power, and they have their SCO also, etc. What I find, as I come from the Indian region, there is always a sort of bias. So I was sort of biased with BRICS. I said, yeah, this pro-Western. It is not the Western people, it is the Western power. So there have been unipolar world, etc. BRICS talks of multipolar world, perhaps is better. But then, on reflection, what I found, it is just a group of elites, a few people, whether in the West or in the BRICS countries, and they would like to have a new arrangement, to have a new, their way of life, etc. The super rich are very, very rich now in the whole world. It's around just 5% people, 5. They have almost the half of the wealth of the whole world. So it is impossible sort of thing. So what I find and what I think we can do, human beings are very developed now, and there's a lot of technology, and with these smartphones and internet and etc. So why this Western G7 or power and then BRICS power? We human beings, we can have our own. We do not aspire to have power. We just develop a happy and peaceful life. That's all. So we can have it, and we can do it. So I say that it's around 8 billion people, and there are a lot of, we have low tech, high tech, appropriate technology, etc. And again, this me, us, and them is when we can connect with internet and etc. And then we can bring this a global, not global South, not global majority, but global humanity. This, well, we can, people will say utopia, but the thing is, we are already in utopia. We are in a third generation utopia. Utopia does not mean something imaginary which will never work. Utopia means that when at a certain stage possibilities can be realized, that is utopia. Now science fiction is outmoded. Science is more advanced than science fiction. Everything you see something, you say something today, and tomorrow it is done. We have even in the marketplace. So that is thing. And then I'll because this is important, what I started with this know-how, how to do it. For everybody is very, people have all religions. I respect all religions. But the thing is, many people, sometimes there are people who do not like religions or not even God. So, but we need a sort of guide, whether it is a guide from Moses, from Talmud, or Ancient Testament, or from Jesus, from the New Testament, or from Gautam Buddha, or from Bhagavad Gita of India, or from the Quran, or from any other, the old religious books. We try to have this sort of guide. But, well, the thing is that this is very distant. Sometimes they find, why not? Certainly, yes, in the moments of distress. But what I say and what I found, that we ourselves now, we can guide ourselves. We can guide ourselves. And it is a very name and easy sort of thing. We can have this sort of book, exercise book, or writing something which is 96 pages, more than sufficient. And this I called a life book. Life book means it's a guidebook. In the first pages and in the last pages, notebook. Well, what is this all about? this guidebook is that the first thing, we don't have to write our names. We just you can start with our date of birth. That's how we know what age I had, and this one, and the next day, next day, etc. Then our height, the biodata, which is natural height, our weight, our heartbeats, etc. And all these what called the informations. And also we can have our cultural information, that how I have educated, I have gone to school or college or etc. And what languages I speak, and can I swim, can I ride a bike, can I drive a car, etc., etc. This sort of thing. And worldly, this is also very important. What sort of am I a student, or am I already a job holder? I have a job, and how much money? Money is very, very important. We do not run. We should not run after money, but money is very important. Without money, we can do nothing. So how much money I earn, etc. So this is about me. Then the other one, this is about us, our group. This group, in the third world, it still exists, but in the Western world, it existed, but now very much almost thinning out. This is the family. The family is the best group for us. Mother, father, children, brother, sister, that's it. So how are they? What are their ages, etc., etc.? We can write it down. And then them, the others, the colleagues, neighbors, others, and friends, etc., what we know. And then also about nature. About nature, around nature, whether we're in a city or in a town or a village, and what about, and if you have a pet, a dog or a cow, or not a cow, cat, etc. And then the world. We are in what I say a third generation world. Third generation means that we had the traditional world, and up to 1500 sort of thing. Then this modern world, we started with Columbus discovering America, etc. And then from just around 1960s or late 60s, we have what we call the postmodern world. The postmodern world, this is a generic name. The postmodern world means this is an utopian world. The possibilities are realized. Well, so we go on, and in the last pages, notebook, that means we can note whatever we like, this, that, etc. But in the first ones, guidebook, we do not write, we keep it very clean, just the main references, etc. So this is the thing. At the same time, what I started this, I said that humanly divine. I myself was born in a sort of communist family, and we were atheists. We did not believe in, we had respected God, but did not believe. We believe in science, that science explains everything, and well, that's the alpha and the omega. Then slowly I understood that there is something, and many people say there is something greater, etc. Jesus said, and also Gandhiji said, God is supreme good. In fact, we try to have this towards the good, which in French is a very good word, which is called bonté. In English, goodness does not carry that much meaning. Okay. So, but the first thing is to be okay. This is, we have heaters in our rooms when in the Western world, when heating, and the homeostat is thermostat, and we have this system in ourselves which homeostat is, whatever it is gone low, it comes up. If it's gone high, it comes down. And this is this level of okay. It must be okay. And then we are not satisfied okay. We go a bit higher up, another level, which is called good. And good, then better, and etc. Well, in my whole work of almost 50 years, I have done all developed a lot of indicators, and then other consecutive videos I will explain. I'll go into detail, but not here. And that makes it very, very precise. And we no longer, because language is not enough, mathematics is not enough, even artificial intelligence can be deviated, but we can do our utilizing numbers and graphics. We can be very, very precise and know where we are, where I am, and go, etc. So this is the thing, and this God thing comes that in the Vedanta, as I come from India, he said, there is a Sanskrit saying which says, Tat Tam Asi, which means you are also that, you are also God. I will take a bit difference with this one, because these are things which are said around 2000 years. So I won't say that I am God, but I can have that level of God. I can attain that level of God. And in fact, if I do not attain that level, and it is, I can deviate anytime. There are a lot of spiritual leaders, they say that. Or to obtain God means to obtain that level. It is not that I become spiritual and leave everything. No, certainly not. But then this okay level, good level, goodness level, and then this, which in language we can say objective, subjective, then transitive. I can do good to myself, I can do good to us, I can do good to ourselves in a perhaps limited way. So this is the thing. This is, in fact, this is God. There is nothing very, very mysterious about it. It's like a fountain. It's come and it's cyclic. And in fact, objectively speaking, the fountain starts at the bottom. But subjectively speaking, the fountain starts at the height where it sprouts out. It's like this. So, well, this and the God thing is that it is beyond of these five senses of knowledge. It is much greater because possibilities. It is in the realm of possibilities. In physics, you said in quantum mechanics and quantum physics, we know about around 100 years we know. So that's how, but that's, you know, this is sort of experience, and sometimes we can feel. When we pray or we can meditate, we can feel this greater presence. So, well, let's say in Spanish, vaya con Dios, and we will meet again. So bye for now.